Everybody, this is Alex on the left, Tillman on the right. I'm Elliot, and welcome to Where's the Line? Today we're doing a more of a rapid fire question format. 5 minutes, time limit, switching topics. And yeah, that's pretty much how we're going to go. We're trying to keep things brief so we can make a couple clips.
Go ahead, Elliot.
Alright, so now we're moving on to my topic.
Okay.
What do you guys think about Britney going to court this last week?
Good question.
Talking about her situation is incredibly complicated.
Yes.
Because she is in a
Conservatorship. Right.
Twofold. One for her person, one for her bank account.
Right.
And yeah, she's been dealing with this, for a long time.
Right.
And there's been a huge movement. Where do you guys land on this? Because there's a whole bunch of conversations. For one, all of the things that have happened to her are legal.
Because of the
conservatorship, but that doesn't make it right. And how do you process that as an American, that this can happen? This could happen to anybody who got into a conservatorship.
Honestly, it's extremely difficult for me because I kind of deal with that in a personal way. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but it makes me sensitive to it. Mm-hmm. So when I see her situation, my thought process is the government or the judicial system should be able to look at a situation and say, okay, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the fact that it may be quote-unquote legal, there are abuses of power. There are abuses of legality. If you abuse the law, there should be somebody. The judge should be able to judicial system should be able to say, "No, this is not okay, and we're going to correct this." Mm-hmm. Now, if this person abused the law in a way that where you say, "Okay, well, we couldn't catch it, we couldn't stop it," there maybe you wouldn't prosecute them to the full extent of the law in that, because they did basically, get the system. They yanked the system over, but there has to be some kind of sort of correction. And for me, if she's profiting, she deserves that.
Oh yeah.
To say so over her own person, like this
birth control.
These are things
but then how messed up is that? Because how do you approach the legal system without a lawyer? She can't pay for a lawyer because of the conservatorship.
Correct. Exactly. And that's problematic, but also in the same way, our government has provided for people to defend in certain situations, and
so she has to fight her own purse because she's going to try and sue her father, who's going to use all of her money to try and keep it.
Well, she could probably be able to circumvent it if she were to go through a GoFundMe. And
she would be able to spend it.
No. If someone else that she trusts
could
go through that process,
like a law firm, nonprofit.
Yes, a law firm do that or whatever. They all ways to circumvent it. I've seen it done for people that I believe shouldn't be able to do it, but I've seen it happen several times.
So someone pro bono defends.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's two fundamental questions there. Do I agree with what Britney Spears is dealing with right now? No. Do I agree that people need conservatorship and guardianship? Yes. Okay, because there is mental illness and so forth, and there was a time in her life where it was obvious that she was struggling. Mm-hmm. And now, is her father, I don't understand the family dynamics of that. The dad, is he just living a billionaire's life off his daughter's performances?
There's testimony about how she was forced to work, which is also very unusual for a conservatorship. That she was not allowed to change her schedule. She couldn't go places without her father's direct permission. She couldn't see her kids.
Yes, and she was married to the trailer park dude who she felt actually was in love with, the country, just a good old boy. And then, free Britney. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah. Free Britney, I'm down with that. But the way that executorships and conservatorships are done, there is some need for it. Is there abuse in it? Yes. I think if she was in any other state than California, it would have been a no-brainer and done by now. Mm-hmm. But a judge has not ruled yet. He didn't rule.
This was all evidence gathering.
Right. He didn't rule yet. So, and I feel like she's demonstrated, even if she's a little quirky and out there, and hell, if you live that life, you're gonna be. Tom Cruise is batshit crazy to me too, and nobody conservatizes him.
But that's what I was gonna say. That's the thing with Britney Spears as well, is that you gotta understand that she's been in this life her entire life, essentially, since childhood.
She was a Disney kid, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So her parents have always essentially enslaved her. You may not want me to say that or look at it that way, but
I'm down with that.
It's almost like from from a child, you essentially made her a slave. You made her your little prophet, and you have continued to push this. And once you got into the conservatorship, the fact of the matter is that you could argue that they drove her to whatever
substances and whatnot,
or mental illnesses that she have. That she possessed right now.
I agree with that.
And then
it'd be hard to prove.
For them that, of course, it'd be very difficult to prove. But for them to have sole power over her and still be able to push that is ridiculous to me.
I think if you
I think that common sense should prevail,
hopefully,
over a law in some situations.
I agree.
It's also so weird because I don't want to get pulled into the drama of it all, but when the only part that you see from like the father, because I'm curious of what kind of parent could do this. The only thing you see is from his like legal team saying he just loves and misses his daughter, and it's like, okay, dude, but like I heard Britney talk bad about you. Where I need to hear you make me feel different, because otherwise I think you're a monster.
I agree. And when he can tell her not to. If she wants to stop taking birth control, she can't quit taking her birth control, or vice versa.
She can't go. No, she has an IE.
She wants to get it removed.
Yeah, and she can't get married without his permission, and she can't.
At that point,
even if she goes to a doctor, she can't be like doctor. Not even that she can't even get there for one. But she has to. She goes to the doctor can't do anything that she asks.
Because there has to be a release of information to the father who makes ultimately the decisions. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The doctor go to, hey, daddy.
So, to answer your question, Britney, let's get her freed from this idiot and move on. And he's made enough money off of her.
Yeah, and that's my personal viewpoint. Even though I don't, like I said, I'm not the person who has enough information to say that he actually is doing all of these things. But
it sure looks
if she needs help, if she needs some guidance still, I just feel like it's a better way of doing it than the situation that she's in where she has zero control, or say so.
I agree.
Man, we're 2 for 3 on agreeing totally, right? So we agreed on Nike and we agreed on Britney. So Alex, I think we're back to you.
Cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's been my point all along. Is more often than not we agree than disagree. Significantly more.
The Constitution stuff, it's more nuanced, right?
Well, this is real conversation, and it does bring in social context. I liked your question because there is that question about the Constitution and how it applies today. That's a good discussion that probably could go further. The Nike thing, to me, at some point you align either with America or with Nike. And I think you have to defend the Chinese influence and so forth here. Your answer would be they're going to sell shoes to whoever buy them. Michael Jordan said that, right? Democrats and Republicans buy shoes, so whatever. And Britney, I think anybody with a heart would say,
How could you not?
I mean, say, let the girl do her thing, Or a woman now. Yeah. She's no longer a girl.
Yeah,
we all see her
40s.
I know. We all see her as easy. I'm in my 40s now, so that's,
right. Still, well, that's an adult, right?
Still, yeah. Well, not me.
You're an adult.
And I behave as an adult sometimes.
On paper, yeah.
Well, technically.
Maybe you need to be in a conservatorship, keep you under control.
Don't give anybody any ideas.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
You don't want me to bring up any of that discussion.